Behind me here stands a World Cup legacy project. That's the Mbombela Stadium that the African National Congress members of Mpumalanga gathered to decide who they will be backing come the December elective conference. I'm Karabole Tlatla, and this is Political Capital. At the very least, comrades here in Mpumalanga are in one voice here at the Mbombela Stadium in Nelspruit. This is a gathering of Mpumalanga branches of the ruling African National Congress in the northeastern South Africa, one of the key provinces that could swing the vote. This song calls for unity in the ruling African National Congress. Party members aren't saying who they want to run their party and stand a chance to run the country in the 2019 elections. All they are sure about is that they want what is proving elusive in the run-up to the elective conference. The choir master on this day is David MABUZA, or DD to his friends. MABUZA is the premier here in Mpumalanga and wields influence nationwide. He is seen as a powerful kingmaker, likely to have a big say in the future of South Africa. If you don't know who he is, listen up, you should.
What do you want to know?
Who is Unity?
Unity is the bedrock on which the ANC was formed. That is the foundation. So you see the ANC today, it survived many hurdles. And through that journey, those who were leading the ANC kept the members of the ANC together. You can go back into our history books. You can go back to the speeches of the former leaders of the ANC. You'll find this word many times. How come this age, day and age, people will come and say, and ask me, who is Unity? Are you so...
What does this mean, Chairperson?
So...
Does this mean, Chairperson, that the Mpumalanga...
not wise enough to see, to understand the word unity? I hope you do. Unless you are searching for something that you don't want, we don't know. And remember, if you're trying anything to push the movement into disarray, we're going to refuse. We mean what we are saying, and there's nothing that we're hiding behind us. We have called for unity in this province, and the branches have listened. So what do you want more?
Chair, with respect.
What do you want more?
Chair.
What do you want from me? Yes.
I just want to know two things.
Yes.
The Secretary General of the ANC says, according to the Constitution, a person has to be nominated, a member of the ANC has to be nominated.
Yes.
And he said in jest at the time that there's no person of the ANC called Unity. Yeah. And so what I want to know is that who...
It is his interpretation.
Sure.
Yes.
So I want to know is that Mpumalanga doesn't want to see anyone elected. Who's going to be elected? What is the will of the people? Who's going to be elected? What is the face of the president of the ANC going to look like? The face of that unity.
If we're saying we must put the unit of the organization first, that means a leadership of the ANC that we're going to elect will be achieved through consensus. Right? We're not going to contest one another. We're saying let's unite, let's put the leaders together, all of us, and say we accept this one must lead, this one must lead, this one must lead, and not contest. Because the consequences of a contestation are dire. In the province, the majority of the branches are saying, find consensus. As a leader of the province, I'll take this view of the province to other provinces and we'll discuss with them. And I have in the past. We've met in this very stadium with all the leaders, and branches are reiterating what we said here. So it means there's progress. We're getting there. You might not see the way yourself because probably you understand the ANC different. Yeah, I mean, I see the way.
Chair,
And the ANC way is not your way.
Chair, your speech raised alarm and talking about the risk of liberation parties losing their governing power because there's distance between them and the people. How important is this elective conference in ensuring that the ANC stays in power in 2019?
I was just reminding the delegates here that they must not forget history. They must not forget what happened around them. Because they are also a liberation movement. What has happened to its neighbors might also happen to the ANC. The ANC is not immune to that. It can happen with us. People can unseat the ANC from power. So in order to avoid that, we must close ranks and unite and forge ahead. Right? We're not going to come here and quibble about leadership and whatnot. We are talking about the aspiration of our people, not about individuals. Individuals don't matter in the ANC. You have just elevated this debate just unnecessary so. As if the president of the ANC is God. Nothing. The ANC is owned by its own members. Leadership is just there to guide there and there, but it's not God in this movement. So, as members of the ANC, we are going to jealously guard this movement, our movement. It's not about DT MABUZA, who's a chairperson in Mpumalanga. It's about the ANC in Mpumalanga. That is why I've corrected them and say, don't push away the voice of the province. Don't push away and pretend you don't see it. Right? You're making a fundamental mistake because this is the ANC speaking. Listen to it.
Colleagues, we'll take the last two. The Premier has been saying one and the same message. We'll take the last two.
Last question from my side, Premier. You have been raised as Deputy President in the Nkosazana Dlamini slate. Should you say there must be a consensus, as you are saying, on leadership, are you willing to sacrifice yourself in the position of Deputy President for someone else?
Definitely.
You don't need the position of Deputy President.
Definitely.
But you're leaving the province. Where
For
would you
the
go?
there are many things to do as a human being. There are many things to do as a human being. Firstly, I was never born to be a chairperson. I was never born to be a premier. I'm here solely because of the will of the people. And tomorrow there will be someone. There was someone before me. And there was someone before that someone. So leaders will come and go, but the aspirations of the people remain. So I'm going to join the rank and file and move with them. And I'm not going to be unhappy with that. At any given point, the ANC must be led and will follow some of us. I was not born to lead all the time. I must not have that mistake in my mind. It's wrong. I'm not going to fight for any position. No. It's only members of the ANC who will elect me, and I'll accept when they elect me. But I'm not going to fight for any position, but I'm saying, let's find consensus amongst ourselves. And as a province, we are peculiar. We've preached unity, and today here we are. We're still standing on those words. We are not going to allow the movement to split. We can do everything. If it means we must donate ourselves, we'll do that. Because to us, the movement means everything. We're born in this thing. I mean, there's nothing. There's no other home that we know. So we're prepared to do everything for your sake and for the sake of our own society. Our people that are poor, downtrodden, unemployed, we'll sacrifice for them.
A stone's throw away from the political drama at Mbombela stadiums lies the harsh reality. Like builder Mkolisi Mlungisi.
Ushintsho ekumele libe khona mangena umuntu esihlaleni into ebalekile cishe ukuthi wonke umuntu eSouth Africa khona njengoba owala.
The change that we want to see when whoever wins comes into power must be that all South Africans must get jobs. Unemployment rate is very high and there are so many people. Job creation must be a priority to stop crime.
Sebayaganga labantu balana baganga ukuthi vele umsebenzi awusekho nanga ukuthi abakunaki lokho noma bangenile abakunaki. So mangangena umunye umuntu cishe singa impumelelo ngaba khona.
Jobs are few in Mpumalanga. Many like Lilian Mhlangu eke out a living selling on the side of the road.
Noma ngabe ngibani asikhethi lo tongena aphasi sifise ukuthi afake inguquko.
Whoever comes into power, we hope for change as the people of Mpumalanga because we are suffering. We see no development, it ends there in Joburg. We hope that the person that will be elected to power will help us as women veterans. We are not making any profit because the rand is low.
Provinces like Mpumalanga feel the fruits of democracy in South Africa have passed them by. Spending in these provinces are often low and infrastructure scarce compared to the big cities.
To me, ANC angiboni ibuya.
I don't see the ANC coming back to power here in Matafeni after the 2019 elections. Anyone from here can attest to that. They will never vote for them again. What they do is to play with people's lives. The ANC comrades are enriching themselves, driving beautiful cars, and the community, on the other hand, is struggling to make ends meet. It's even difficult for them to put food on the table.
Provinces like Mpumalanga are bottom of the heap when it comes to spending and investment, but it appears they rise to the top when it comes to political searchings for votes. Sure, the politicians here led the singing in the call for unity. The people of Mpumalanga would rather settle for another word ending with the same letters: prosperity. Mangosuthu Buthelezi, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Most people don't know this about you. Most people do not know this about you.
Nothing.
But you tried your hand at acting in 1963. You played King Tlatrayo Kampande, your own great-grandfather.
Correct. Correct.
How was acting for you? Why did you take the role? Why did you choose to act?
No, I didn't choose to act. Actually, what happened is that the director of that film, Cy Enfield, an American, and Stanley Baker was the main actor in the film. They came to see me. They were asking me to approach the king so that we should give them extras, you see, from the people, the Auckland. But then when they saw me, they said they saw a family resemblance with my great-grandfather, and they asked me whether I wouldn't act as him. But actually, they had already identified a member of the SABC in Durban, of the radio, Mr. Hubert Sishi. Yes. But when they saw me, then they decided to jump. That's how I acted. So it was very interesting for a couple of weeks when I acted there with Stanley Baker, and also...
Did you like acting?
Yes, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it very much. Quite so.
I grew up in Bophuthatswana with Lucas Mangope, not popular at all within his constituency.
Yeah, I understand.
And Opa Khozo was also not, particularly popular.
Quite.
How was that for you as Chief Minister of KwaZulu-Natal? How was that period for you?
I can answer that question by saying that even in '94, the people of Natal, white and black, gave me a victory. I won, under democracy, I won the province with a clear majority. And twice this happened, because that is the measuring rod you can use, that the people actually supported me at that time.
Let me fast forward if I can, because I need to for the benefit of time. The 1990s, the early 1990s, that was, I think, as a kid growing up in the 90s, I have never been more scared of South Africa's future than the early 90s. I was only a budding little boy at that time, but it was a very, very violent time, especially in the east end of Johannesburg. ANC fought IFP, and there was a third force which was also instigating and making sure that the fights carry on. Do you, now that you are in your retirement years, do you look back at that loss of life with regret?
No, because the ANC went to Vietnam to study how to wage what they call the People's War. And of course, there's a tome on this issue written by Dr. Anthea Jeffrey, People's War, where you can see a balanced report of what happened. It was not us. The ANC, brought this People's War in South Africa, where they said any person whom they described as being on the other side must be killed and so on. They started that.
But they describe what you did, what the IFP did, as a collusion with the right-wing government, with the right-wing Afrikaans group that were against a formation of a democratic South Africa.
Of course, that's their propaganda and lies. They're lies. You see, what happened is that at that time, the ANC decided that I should be assassinated. Because I rejected independence, unlike Bophuthatswana, Transkei, Ciskei, Venda, because I was a South African citizen. And I was denied an army, unlike Transkei, Bophuthatswana, and Venda, because I hadn't taken independence.
I think there's a culpability on the part of the ANC, IFP, and the state security for the bloodshed we saw in the early 90s.
Yes. I never, in fact, the IFP never sat down, our central committee, or the central committee, they never sat down to say we must kill anyone. We never made any decision, to kill people.
So what was the tension?
Let me finish, please.
Sorry, sir.
But I actually said to my people that in accordance with our jurisprudence in South Africa, everyone has a right, an inalienable right to defend themselves. I said they must defend themselves. The role of the AIFP was to defend themselves. But these people were not orchestrated by me or the top leadership. So they did all sorts of things which I didn't approve of. I did not approve of Boy Patong things. It was not orchestrated from Lundi, by me, and so on. Because they did their own things now, which I did not want to call.
You're also credited with coming to the table during the Congress for a Democratic South Africa, CODESA. It was an 11th hour decision to join the elections in '94.
Yes.
But it is seen largely as a drive towards peace and normalcy in South Africa and away from the bloodshed.
What happened is this. In the negotiations, I said that we Zulus have quite a strong monarchy as an institution. And I wanted them to tell me what is the place of the monarchy within a democratic South Africa.
You say that Ramaphosa and Rolf Meyer torpedoed the negotiations in the early 90s. I want to move the question closer to the current time. Ramaphosa is running to be an ANC leader, potentially could be the president of the ANC. He's along other people, of course. But what do you make of the man who you say torpedoed negotiations in 1990? What kind of a man is he? What kind of president do you think he will make?
No, I think that if he's president, he's actually, he has the talents to lead, because from the time that he was in the trade unions, he learned a lot from that in negotiating and in leading the trade unions. And I think that he's quite capable, actually, myself. I think he's quite capable of leading the country if he's elected.
So we've seen changes in our we've seen changes in our neighboring country, Zimbabwe. We saw there a change of government, Robert Mugabe resigning. What do you make, as the IFP, as its leader still, what does the IFP make of the changes we're seeing in Zimbabwe?
Although the method was almost that of a coup, is it a coup or not a coup? That is a question. But nevertheless, there was no bloodshed. There wasn't any bloodshed. And I think that what they achieved for the people of Zimbabwe is plausible as far as I'm concerned, that they've achieved what they achieved now.
What do you think about the fact that Robert Mugabe stayed in power for so long? Some say that it's a characteristic of African leaders to not, go when their time is up, to still linger long after the party is done.
Well, I think that's a matter for the people of Zimbabwe. I don't think it's my business, because there were elections in Zimbabwe when Mr. Mugabe was returned. But teams of observers were sent from South Africa as well, from the IEC, from Nkatha, and one election, I don't know, it's not the last one, Nkatha actually, together with what do you call the European Union observers, said that the election was not free and fair. But Dr. Brigadier Pam also agreed, said the same, But then he was returned like that. But the ANC, our majority party, in charge, a ruling party, and the government said that the election was free and fair.
What's your hope for the IFP as you leave it? When do you actually stop active leadership of the IFP?
Pardon?
And when do you actually stop active leadership of IFP? And what is your hope for the party?
No, of course, a decision was made by structures of the party that the mayor of Hlabisa, Councillor Velenkosini Hlabisa, should actually succeed me at the conference, which has not been scheduled yet because of the problems with branches, just as is happening with the ANC. So we haven't got the date. We're hoping that it should be in December, but quite clearly
it's not going.
It can't be. It could be in January or after that. Then he'll take over. For the moment, I am in Parliament, because he is what you call. He's a mayor of leading people in his area, and that is not without precedent in South African politics, because Helen Zille led the Democratic Alliance as a mayor and out later as premier. But I'm not saying that I'll stay forever as member of Parliament. I'm just saying that if I don't actually give space for him to come to Parliament, it's not because there's any problem, because I told him that I'm prepared. at a meeting of the executive, I told him that I'm prepared to leave immediately if he feels that he should go down as leader of our party, as myself. And I said that he must decide that himself. So.
Your hopes for the IFP?
But
what do you hope happens to the IFP after you?
But
your hopes for the IFP. What do you hope happens for the IFP after you leave?
No, I do hope that the IFP will do better and attain the position it had, in the radar of our politics, and that it will make a contribution which I think we have made, which has been acknowledged. I think some of my colleagues, such as Gerald Holomisa, such as Ms. Maimane, have acknowledged my contribution. I hope that they'll continue to make that contribution to the success of our country.